Okay, so I've got Leticia Wilson coming. I'm going to attempt the Teams with her, but right now I'm just going to go look her up. I mean, that's one of the things that I like to do prior to, because I might actually have had them in a class already, which is really kind of cool. And then I already have a relationship with them. So you have to open up. Um, First thing I do is I typically go and look up their eval just to know where they are, what they need to do, and make sure that they are where they need to be. So I don't have her number, so I'm just going to look her up. There's two different ways of being able to find people. If you know their name, you can just go ahead and put their name in. And I'm going to look at, what isn't really Leticia, but it's where I can see things. So I've got the student. Now I need to switch over to actually looking at their eval. And I know it's kind of tedious to get the eval. Oh, wow. Been in several different things. This is always good information that you can see that they've been in different programs, and you can even mention that and make sure. And if they have several that are active, I usually wait until I talk to the student to be able to pull up their eval to make sure it's the correct one. Or maybe they're trying to switch. I do business, and so this student's in kinesiology. I'm not going to be good at kinesiology. Well, here's my degree down here. I'm going to open that up and see where they are. So you have to save and then update and then download. And what I typically do is I save it in a file folder. So if and when they call me back, I put their name, their ID number, so that I can go and look at it really quickly. I don't have to go and do this whole process again. All right, wow. So they brought in some, this is transfer credit. They're enrolled. They were enrolled, but they're not enrolled right now. So one of the things that I also like to do is go and look in Civitas. Civitas is their whole life. You can go and look and see everything that they've done. All right. So I want Inspire for Advisors. Again, let's see. I had the ID number 051042. All right. One of the first things I do is you can go and look at everything that they've done, their whole history here. And I love that because typically I can go back and it's like, was I teaching business principles, section 709 last semester? Oh, and I can go look them up and it's like, oh yeah, they were a really good student. And then I have something to talk to them before I even get started. So I like that. All right. So I'm going to call the student.
Hello?
Hi, this is Terry Samover in Business Administration at Del Mar. I have you as an advising appointment today at 10:30. Is that correct?
Yes, that is definitely correct. Miss
Great. Is this
Samo,
a good time?
it
Same old. Yes, I'm very
okay.
easy to work with.
Thank you for calling me. I'm so anxious to get back into school. It's been a while. I don't know if you know that, but I'm excited and nervous. It's been a while. So yes, I'm happy to meet with you.
Great. And what degree plan were you looking at? Because I had several when I looked you up.
Yeah, I haven't I've been back and forth at school because other things became a priority, but now I know that I really want to do business admin. So would you be able to help
Okay.
me with that?
Absolutely. Now, there's two different programs in business, okay?
Okay.
Business administration is where you're going to be doing lots of core and you're getting ready to go to have a bachelor's in another in university. Is that what your plan is?
Yes. I know
Okay.
that for sure now.
Okay. Well, the other plan is in management, and
Oh.
it's a AAS, and there is some core, but it's mostly business classes. And I didn't know if that
Mm.
might be something you might want to look at also. And when you go to university, it goes right into a leadership role. So I
Oh.
know I've had some students that's more their, not a general business degree, but they have plans to maybe become an entrepreneur, or they have plans to open their own business. So
Oh.
that degree is an option for you also. And so that's typically the two different degrees that we have here at Del Mar in business
Hmm.
that you can choose from.
You know what? After you mentioned that, I'm really interested in being my own entrepreneur because now I'm at a different stage in my life.
Okay.
So I think I'm more interested in that AAS that you discussed because that's more aligned with what I want to do with leadership and entrepreneurship.
And I've had a lot of students that feel that way. And it just depends on your focus. If you
Yeah.
just want a degree in business, a business administration goes into a business administration at university, and you can do just about anything with it.
Okay.
And that's really fantastic. But if you already have, some plans, some ideas,
I do.
I I do believe that management, really kind of helps you to develop those skills and
Okay.
knowledge.
Let's get started. I'm ready. I'm really excited that you exposed me to those different career pathways. So let's
Oh,
get to it. What classes? How do I sign up? Does any of the classes that I took before apply to this business?
yes, we can do a proposed plan
Oh,
where I go in and I put in the code for the actual degree,
okay.
and it will pop up and it'll show us all the things that you've already done that will apply to that degree.
Oh,
And here's the other deal. Are you doing any kind of financial aid?
I am. I am.
Okay, we have to make sure we do a change of major form, because if it's not on your major, they will not pay. So I
Okay.
can email you that form. If you give me your email, I'll be more than happy to email. Well, right now, because of COVID, actually, you can just send it to Reg Info, and I'll give you the
Oh,
codes for the degree plan you're in
okay.
and the degree plan that you want to be in, and you can just send it directly to them, and we don't even have to fill out the form anymore,
Oh,
which is great.
wow. So
Okay.
you're showing me this degree plan or this program eval. Is that
Hmm.
for the leadership? What is the degree called?
It's called management development.
Management development. And that's
And
some form
so
of leadership?
it's an AAS degree that will go directly into Texas A&M Corpus Christi Leadership BAS degree. BAS.
Oh, okay. How do I know that these classes will transfer?
It's an agreement between us and A&M. Is that where you're going, or is there another organization that you're going to go to?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I already have a business here in town and I have roots here.
Oh,
So I definitely want to stay here in Corpus. So you said
okay.
that we have an agreement with Texas A&M.
A&M.
What is
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
So that means that all my classes will transfer without a problem?
Absolutely. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay. Okay. Excellent. So you're showing me this
Okay, so
form.
you have English credit already. You already took business principles, which is a great class to get started with. It encompasses everything about business. If this is the first time that you've ever been in school, I would definitely put you in there. Now the management, and here I'm going to explain something also that's going on right now. And you've said you've been here before. So probably then you were in 16-week classes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the president of the college has encouraged us to be able to do 8-week classes, which means that if you're only going part-time, you can take a class in the first 8 weeks and then take a class in the second 8 weeks and still get credit for 2 classes, but you just focus on that class for those 8 weeks. Now,
Okay.
the other thing about the 8 weeks is that 16 weeks have been cut in half to 8 weeks. So you're going to be doing twice as much work every week for an 8-week class, but then you'll be done.
Okay.
So some students, they really like that. Other students do not. And for this semester right now, I'm teaching this business principles of management class in the second 8 weeks. And then I'm teaching this principles of marketing right now for this 8 weeks.
Okay.
So you could get those 2 classes that are both on your degree in 1 year, but is that something that you would be comfortable with doing 8 weeks versus 16?
You know what? Honestly, I work better when I'm able to focus in on one class for a shorter period of time because when it gets
Mhm.
stretched out, I already have experience in the field. I've been to school before, but it's just been some time. So I like the 8-week concept because I can get more done and I can be more honed in on just one class at a time. So let's do that 8-week class. That sounds like it'll be aligned with what I want the pacing to be. So
Okay. And are you going full time or part time?
what would you recommend? Like, I haven't been to school. I don't even remember the last time I took a class, maybe back in 2015. So it's been almost 5 years. But I'm really good at time management and just coordinating my schedule, my family schedule, my work schedule. So, but what would you recommend? Because it's just been such a long time.
Well, and have you taken an online class before?
You know, I have, but it's been a long time. It's been a
Well,
long time.
and and I'm glad to hear that you're disciplined because you're going to need that to be able to accomplish this and work at the same time. And what I suggest to most students is you just pick a time. In all of my classes, I record myself and you pick a time to be able to work on my class. But other instructors pick a time as if it was a face-to-face class. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30, you're going to meet with your math instructor or you're going to meet with your English instructor.
Huh.
And so what works better with your schedule?
Honestly, it would work better if I could set my own pace
Mhm.
and if I can just go into the class, do the work by a specific deadline instead of having to have it at one particular time because I'm running a business. So at nine
Right,
o'clock, I might not be available. Um,
right.
is that possible?
Absolutely. And we can look up, and one of the things that I typically do is I go into WebDMC, and you can do this also,
Oh,
and look for sections of classes. Because I've had students, it's like, well, I need a particular time or I need a particular,
yeah.
and it's difficult sometimes. And this is typically what I do with students. See, this is the full 16 weeks.
How can I
This is
tell?
a
Oh,
dual
you
credit
highlighted
class,
that cell? Okay.
right? And this is one of those odd 15-week courses, and so it doesn't even begin until to the end of next week. Well, I'm going to go to the last one. I wanted to be able to show you. See, this one says second 8 weeks, and it
See
begins in the
that?
middle of October.
Oh, I see that. Oh,
Okay. And
okay.
so you need to be able to, differentiate. This search for sections has so much more information. And I know you can register yourself, but when you go to register, you're just going to see these letters and numbers and maybe not know which class you're getting into. And so
Oh,
going in here and then just checking to see if there's any available seats. That's what this is. Everything's online right now unless it has a lab. that's required for you to be there. The
Oh,
president of the college decided that any lecture base that we can put online would just be the safest for right now. And so pretty much everything's online. So, but it sounds like that would work well with your schedule.
so what would you recommend for this semester based on
Well, if
those?
you want to do, yeah, 2 8 weeks, and I'm not going to put you into my classes because I need to fill them up. They're already pretty full. But I think it would be a good way. It seems like you and I are developing a relationship anyway. And so we can put you in my marketing class, which will probably help you with your business.
How do I look up course descriptions? I've completely
Okay,
forgot
that's
how.
a great question. Here, and the other thing is all of our classes are going to be through Canvas. So that gives me a
Oh,
great opportunity to show you this also.
okay.
Okay, up here on the Del Mar website, let's go to the main page. Anytime you need to get to anything, it's right up here at the very top.
Okay.
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 This Viking toolbox has a myriad of things. We can look up the catalog right there. Okay, so here's course description.
Okay.
I'm in the course catalog. I'm doing for 2019-2020.
Okay.
Over here on course description, and then we can go to marketing. Now, one of the main things that we do, because I'm teaching the class, I can tell you, is that you have to create a marketing plan.
Oh,
And so you do that throughout the whole semester, and that's the main objective for the whole class. Now, I don't have you do what you'll have to do in probably bachelor's or master's degree is do all the analytics and all the actual calculating of demographics and things like that. We're going to focus on one product, and we're going to focus on one company here. And if you want to use your own, that would be fine. If you already have a company, that would be great. I would love that. And we'll develop a marketing plan throughout the semester. And it's just a really good course for you to be able to get started, especially since you already have some business experience and knowledge.
I can see this class being helpful. I have a restaurant here in town, and I can really see this because we're trying to up our marketing just because of the space we're in with COVID. Outside of, Facebook and Instagram, what are some other marketing strategies I can use to really build up my business since we're able to still, have customers come in using safe business practices, but also just marketing that we're still a viable business. So this class would really be helpful.
Okay, so here in Canvas, and if your password isn't working, now typically if you're a brand new student, your password would be your birthday, 2 month, 2 day, 4 year. If it is not working, and this is the Viking help desk, if you cannot log in, you need to contact them, and
Okay.
they will help you get into class,
Okay.
because that's where you're going to have to. There's a really nice Canvas orientation for you to be able to take if you've never used Canvas,
Okay.
and faculty and staff. But logging into Canvas, I'm already in. I can show you the class actually,
Okay.
since I already have it going.
So this is what the class looks like online through Canvas.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh,
So I have a little
wow.
introduction to my course. That would be the first thing that I would suggest. I have announcements every week. You can always go to the syllabus, and if you need a printout of the syllabus, it's right here. There's a link to it, and you can print it. But these are all the things that we're going to do each week.
Okay.
And in modules, I have this week's assignments for you to
Okay.
complete, and then they're due at the end of Saturday at midnight, and Sunday morning I will open up week 2 for you to get started.
Okay.
So, and most of my students really like that because they have their weekends free to be able to work on homework. and get it in before the deadline. And then a lot of my students, as soon as I post it on Sunday morning, they're jumping right on it, and then they don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week.
Now, honestly, Miss Samo, it's been a long time, and I might need help with my writing skills because I'm very shorthanded when I do anything for my business. It's just bullet points. So, is there any tutoring or any resources that I can utilize in this online space? Like, are there any resources that I can still use since our
Well, the library has an amazing amount of information for you, and they also have their Stone Writing Center.
Oh,
One of
okay.
the nice things about that, and I think I have to log in, is that you can submit, like you're working on your marketing plan for my class. You can submit that to them. They will make suggestions for you. The other thing in my class is that I create a discussion for the whole class to read each other's marketing plan. Each of you have to create a marketing plan,
Okay.
but you're going to be able to have information from other students, and you're going to be able to see what they're writing to kind of help narrow down and to work on yours.
Oh,
But yes, Stone
so we can
Writing
get feedback from our classmates about the
as well as
content.
me. Right.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just not, submitting an assignment because I need some other eyes to look at it because yeah, it's been a
I,
while.
that's absolutely true. I do not hand anything in without somebody else looking at it.
So that was one of the courses that you said I should take, MRKG 1311 Principles of Marketing. Is there another course for the second 8 weeks that you recommended?
I would recommend the Principles of Management. Again, I'm teaching it, and I don't want to just promote, and that's a BMGT. But these are your other classes. All right, so these are not all the classes that we're doing right now, but Principles of Marketing, I know, is the second 8 weeks. You don't have to do the practicum to the end. Advanced Communications, that's a 16-week course. Leadership is a 16-week course. These are, because I'm in this department, this is only in the spring. We probably need to put some of that out here.
Do I have to take these in a specific order? So do I have to take Marketing 1311
No,
and okay.
this is the suggested. Okay, this is that proposed plan that I pulled up for you.
Okay.
And it does not have to be in the order that it's on here.
Okay.
You just have to be able to take all of these classes to be able to be ready to graduate.
Okay. So I don't have to take them in particular order. So the 2 8-week classes you suggested was the Principles of Marketing, and that's MRKG 1311, and then Principles
Uh-huh.
of Management, BMGT 1327. Are those two
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So how do I know how much they are? Because I need to be able
Are
to
you,
plan.
well, that would be the other question. Are you in district? You live here in Corpus?
I do.
Okay.
Are there,
And
oh,
there,
I really don't want to use financial aid because I've actually saved for coming back to school. Is there a payment plan option? And how much will these two classes be? How do I know how much they will be?
well, once I register you, I can do a bill and I can send that to you. But it's around $300 a class.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any way
Does
where I
that
can see how much it is per credit? Okay, so if I'm in district, that's how much it is for 3 credit. Okay, that's really helpful. All right. So I'm gonna take a look at that later, and that'll give me. So how do I know how many credits the class is?
each one of our business classes are 3 credits each. All right. Here is the credits. If when we're back in the search for sections in WebDMC,
Okay.
it gives you the credits here.
And I was told that those four numbers mean something. Like English 1302, the first number tells you it's a freshman level class. The second number gives you the number of credits. So
That's
is that
exactly right.
okay? So if I didn't go into WebDMC, I know that the 4 digits, they mean something. So the second number gives me how many credits the class is. Okay. And I can also see it there in WebDMC. Okay, that's helpful. So I can gauge that I'm you're recommending that I take 6 credits this semester because both of the classes are 8 weeks. So then I can go back in that tuition and see how much 6 credits is for in district. And then I can ask if I can sign up for a payment plan. Okay. Okay.
That's through WebDMC. Now remember, Canvas, WebDMC, and your email is all here at the top of the Del Mar webpage.
Oh,
Okay. Your email is really important because they're going to send lots of information through your Del Mar email. And so you need to check that periodically. And it's the exact same login for Canvas, for WebDMC, and for your email. So whatever your username is and your password is, it's the same for all of them. But you do need to check with them. Also, you can always get a hold of me in Canvas in the inbox.
okay.
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 There, that's it goes directly. So like I have one student who has a question for me, and it goes directly to my phone. And in my syllabus is my cell phone. Actually, I'm it's this is the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Through
Okay.
Canvas.
Yes.
Okay. So I really feel comfortable with you because we've had this conversation. How do I know my business takes a lot of my time and also the time that I like to spend with my family outside of that. If I hit a snag, who do I go to as my advisor? Will you be my advisor from now on, or who's going to be
Yeah.
my point person?
No, absolutely. Call me, send me a message, text me. I'll be more than happy to help. And I know that, once the classes start, that becomes even more stressful because you're not sure. And I also have to, well, I'm going to put you in 2 of my classes, so they're already published. But there are instructors that have not published yet into Canvas, and so you're going to have to probably try to send them an email to make sure that you're in that class. And
Oh,
any questions that you have, I'll be more than happy to help you with.
okay.
Yes, definitely keep me same old, same old. For current students, there are so many resources, and I don't want you to feel alone. And I know in this time of COVID that that's something that's really happening a lot. We need to be able to have somebody to talk to, and that's truly what I'd be more than happy to talk to you for anything that's going on. But you have lots of resources. We have there's the disability services, there's careers and technical, there's the student success. They're really very good about making sure you're doing all right.
I really need this degree to validate what I'm doing. So, with that and navigating school, would you have any recommendations on what I should do in the next month or two to really make sure that I anchor myself in this school and in life?
We can always video conference if you're really getting stuck.
Okay.
um, I try to offer as much help as possible in all of my classes. I record myself doing the PowerPoints and reviewing, and I try to make it as much of a face-to-face online thing you can do. I'm always there for you. If you need, are you talking about like counseling? Do you think you need some?
No, I just wanted some helpful tips because I'm putting another thing on my plate. And so I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that I'm successful. And so I wanted your
Well, you're probably
recommendations.
going to need an 3 to 6 hours. Well, it'll be more than that in the 8 week class. Probably more like 6 to 9 hours a week for you to kind of carve out to be able to work on the class, to
Oh,
really be able to
okay.
to learn. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, you can get a grade, you can do the work, but if you really want to learn, you're going to need to spend more time and read the book. The book is actually has a an online component that I like much better, and you can actually do a it won't let you go forward until you get a concept, and that's something that especially students who want to have a more in-depth understanding, and it sounds like you're going to need to know and understand marketing and managing your own business quite a bit more. So those are available to you through the Access and Connect in my
Okay.
Canvas course. Truly, in order for us to have peace of mind and be able to get a task done and over with, you just got to focus on that one task. And
Okay.
having a good and I hope this is one of my hope for all my students. And you're going to have to take a human relations class, and that's a really great class, just to learn why people do things, why you do things. It's a wonderful tool for you to kind of give yourself a way of saying, hey, I'm worth, and I should be able to communicate, and I should be able to offer my opinion in a non-threatening place. And so I do that with all of my classes so that they can have an opportunity to not just do the work, but interact with the other students. And so the more interaction we can have between students, the better, even in an online situation. We do need to, develop that sense of community. We need to develop that sense of understanding. And that's what discussions are all about in an online class. Sadly, I would just give time in class for my teams to get together, and they all work on one thing and can move forward. But this is how we can do it now, is to offer discussions, and you get to know other students, they get to know you, and hey, sky's the limit on what you can develop.
So those are really tangible examples of what I can do right now to help me succeed at this second go round on because I want to validate what I'm doing,
Right.
so it's my time. So thank you. I have to go. I'm
Okay.
because I had this time carved out, but I'm very
Okay.
grateful for what you showed me and the classes, the principles of marketing and principles of management. I'll go on WebDMC and I'll register myself now that refresh my memory. Um, so what's after I get enrolled and I pay, then I'll get. When should we like meet again, or should I just wait for you? Like, how does that work? I don't want to be too much of a burden on you.
No, 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 you're not. I mean, that's my job. I'm here for you. So whenever the easiest and in my syllabus is my cell phone, just text
Mm,
me.
all right.
So welcome. Welcome back. You'll do
Thank you.
great.
I'm excited and nervous, but I'm ready. It's my time. Thank you, Miss Samo.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, one of the things that I typically do afterwards is I come back in here to Inspire and I log the outreach. It was student initiated. The student called in and asked for an advising appointment. So I always do student initiated. I did a virtual advising. We looked at a different degree plan. I'm going to put info on and other. All right, so they're not enrolled, and they're not enrolled because well, personal right now. So we talked about academics. I was trying to inspire her. Um, Typically, I send, especially if we're doing a different degree plan, I save that and I email that to them. If I had done a schedule, I would have done that also. We talked a little bit about financial aid. We definitely did recommended courses, discussed options for degree plans, and offered suggestions for classes. Didn't enroll, but they will. So that's pretty much just simple. We know what's going on. The next person who comes along and talks to the same student has some information. Typically what we do is go into the personal restrictions, and if we had an advising hold, we would do a note timestamp that I talked to them and any kind of information. We didn't enroll, but we discussed, and make sure you save. So those are some of the things. And then I would email the student. You know, I typically ask for a private one to make sure that they get it, and then encourage them to check their Del Mar email.